Hello and welcome. This is the World of Atlantica, a tabletop RPG world-building project. I am a storyteller, and today's episode focuses on a new dragon for Old School Essentials. And it's based on a creature of European folklore, which goes by several names, but perhaps the most popular of all is the Tatzelwurm. The Tatzelwurm is an Alpine legend. It's known in Germany, Italy, France, Austria, Switzerland, maybe other places. I'm not great at geography, but all of the Alpine parts of Europe, because the Tatzelwurm does supposedly live in the Alps. It's a cat-faced dragon, or serpent, which makes its home in the tunnels of the Alps. It gets along, making a shrieking or whistling sound, maybe even a terrifying hiss. And in Austria and Bavaria specifically, the Tatzelwurm has a poisonous breath, which can lay its foes low. According to the various sources, the creature had 2 or 4, or even more legs than that, and when standing on its back legs was as tall or taller than a man. Now, regardless of how many legs the Tatzelwurm really had, or what have you, our monster is based off of that myth and serves as a fierce, predatory dragon, complete with the sadistic streak of your average house cat. Tatzel is a word that means clawed or pawed in English, and so our dragon is called the Great Clawed Dragon. And I thought about some other names, like the saber-toothed dragon, or the cat-faced dragon, or the cat-faced mountain dragon. And if you've got an opinion on this, I'd love to have it, since this is just our first draft of the monster. We could theoretically change the name. In fact, my brother almost just gave it longer canines, so that the name saber-toothed dragon makes more sense, and it does sound really cool. But in the end, we decided to stick close to the mythology, and we called it the Great Clawed Dragon. With that said, leave a comment if you've got a better idea or if you like something else more. But with that said, the Great Clawed Dragon largely resides within the mountains of Icaria, specifically Calamar, and it has a fierce rivalry with the feathered asp. Cats, birds, draconic egos, what are you going to do? As far as stats go, let's take a look. The Great Clawed Dragon has an armor class of 19 or 0, hit dice 8 for an average of 36 hit points. It has a bite attack that could do 48 damage, and 2 claw attacks that do 1d10 each, or like I said, the breath weapon, which is poison gas. The THAC0 is 12, but I use an ascending system, so plus 7 is what that equals to. Standard dragon movement of 30 feet or 80 feet when flying in a combat round. Saving throws of death 8, wands 9, poison paralysis 10, breath 10, spell 12. A morale of 10, an alignment of chaotic. Treasure type H and 1d4 is what you would ever encounter. As far as its appearance goes, the cat-headed dragon has razor-sharp claws and glowing yellow eyes that gleam with a clearly devious intelligence. Generally speaking, its long tail flickers behind it, and its ears and nose are generally scanning about, sniffing, trying to pick up on smells and sounds. Now, the breath weapon of the Great Clawed Dragon, like I said, it's a cloud of chlorine gas, so similar to, a green dragon in that respect. If it doesn't feel particularly endangered in combat, it has a tendency to play with its opponents rather than giving the killing blows. It will purposefully wound humanoids with a single attack and not use other attacks, just like, one claw attack around. It enjoys the fight that its prey puts up. And with that said, the Great Clawed Dragon hates the feathered asp, and vice versa. These two dragon types will often attack each other on sight. As far as their habitat and society, they do live alone, sometimes in small groups, usually in the mountains of Calamar. Icaria is one of the continent we're talking about here. They seldom work together, except in small family groups, unless it's for necessity, like, say, attacking a group of feathered asps. With that said, as far as their ecology or seasonal behavior, like other dragons in the world of Atlantica, these do not follow the typical seasonal ecology that most creatures do, summers and winters and whatnot. Instead, the lives of dragons are governed by much longer periods of time. The great clawed dragon enjoys descending from mountains on occasion, solely to find humanoids to torture to death. Though from the point of the view of the dragon, this is playtime. Dragons in Atlantica don't really consider humanoids to be true life. Only dragons are truly alive in their philosophy. The great clawed dragon enjoys nothing more than finding travelers and attacking them, wounding them, letting them try to escape, sometimes for miles, even days if they can get away with it, before finally killing and eating their prey. With that said, if you want a copy of the stat block for the Great Clawed Dragon, as well as other dragons or monsters, maps, NPCs, and new playable classes for Old School Essentials, you can check out the World of Atlantica Discord channel linked below, at least for now. Once we get enough content to make supplements, we will put those up on DriveThru RPG. I've just got to get a little more content out and edit it together, and we'll start putting that up as pay what you want content on DriveThru RPG. We've got a lot more in the future, so like and subscribe for more content just like this. Until next time, peace!